Welcome to the Loveland Report Loan Arranger Show. I am Cleve, Loveland, Central Florida's voice of real estate for 30 years. Also alongside Bruce Woodburn, the loan arranger, and we are giving you your mortgage news, your real estate news, because those guys on all those news channels, they're not in the trenches like Bruce and I are every day. So we're going to talk about, I've got an ad here, Bruce. I want to ask you about this because we got bombs dropping and rates went up. I got an article here about 4.99% mortgage. We're going to talk about that. Spring selling. Let's go to spring. We're pulling into spring. We got daylight savings, getting your house ready, prep work for buyers and prep work for sellers, and negotiations. How important is the other agent and knowing that agent when you're negotiating? All these things come into play, and I'm going to talk about that.
Yeah, that's a good thing to talk about because the relationship between the two real estate agents can sometimes make or break the deal too. I've seen you frustrated before because you've got a buyer and you can't even reach the listing agent. They don't return the phone calls. Can you imagine hiring somebody to sell your home and they don't return potential
like that? I find they're either on vacation all the time and like it's the hobby, or I find they're at their other job and they don't return calls at all.
It's so true. I've got one right now. The listing agent has been living in Panama for the last 2 months. She said she went there because her business was slow, but as soon as she got there, things picked up. And we're dealing back and forth with her. And it's, oh my gosh, this is insane.
The customer service.
I have to tell you, when hiring a real estate agent, and you hear me say this, I think people personally are very poor pickers of real estate agents, but it's not because they don't pick nice people. They pick nice people, but they generally pick people they know because everyone knows a realtor.
And you only buy or sell a house maybe 4 or 5 times in your lifetime, 7, 6, 7 times. It depends, unless you're an avid investor.
When I have a client that comes to me and they've found their own real estate agent and they're in the middle of negotiating. Now, I have a deal that's happening on this right now with an experienced agent, but just because you're experienced doesn't mean you're good. It just means you know how to write contracts and put signs in the yard. They're not necessarily good. And this client is buying $1.3 million home. And I think they could have negotiated a little better deal for the buyer. Now, don't get me wrong. They got $137,000 off the price of the house, but that buyer's agent didn't communicate with me on what would have worked better for their buyer in terms of financing. Never talked to me, never did anything, wrote the contract. And then I went back and went over the numbers with the client and went, wow, that's a little bit more money out of pocket than I was expecting to have happen.
There's ways to address that.
There is, but you should be adjusting. Right now, you're already out of negotiation. You should have adjusted that beforehand. And I'm just telling you folks out there, when you pick your realtor, you don't know the best way to negotiate. And that's why you call people like Cleve and I, because we will walk you through the process.
It's called knowing your numbers.
And every client may be different. If you're putting 50% down, maybe I don't care if you get any closing costs paid. You can get a reduction of the price. But when you're putting 20%, 10%, 5%, there's a reason you're putting less money down. And that might mean I can keep more money in your pocket. And it just makes sense. So it does. If you have any questions for me, my name's Bruce Woodburn. They call me the loan arranger. I've been in the mortgage business for 36 years, I think now. My anniversary is in March. I've closed tens of thousands of loans. I'm one of the top producers in the entire country. I don't say that to brag. I only say that because I think I've got a dialed in team that is there to cater to my clients' needs. I'm a direct lender. I'm in all 50 states. I've got an amazing group of people behind me. We have more loan programs than any lender that I've ever seen, ever. I honestly don't know anymore. We have super fast systems. They're very streamlined. So they're designed to save you time and money. And your time is valuable, time and money. And since we're such a big lender, we have premium interest rates. Our rates are unbelievable because we have huge buying power. And you know what else we do that a lot of clients really like? We service 90% of the loans that we close. Cleve, do you know how many loans a mortgage broker services?
No.
0.
Yeah.
Most banks, mortgage companies, and credit unions aren't going to service their loan.
I had to jump in the middle of a transaction, which I shouldn't have had to do. Another lender supposed to be getting information from a condo association. Weeks going by, emailing, calling, they are saying, oh, we can't get a hold of anybody. I finally tell my transaction coordinator, hey, get on the phone, call them. one call, one person, one transfer to one extension, got everything we needed. And so it's very important you've got the right
Got to
people
stay
helping
on
you in the
top of it.
transaction.
And I'm going to tell you something. People don't realize how many moving parts there is in a real estate transaction, but it takes a team of people on my side and on Cleve's side just to keep things going. And when you don't have that, or your realtor does not have the capacity to handle that, you need a better team.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, Cleve, you and I, when we work together, things get fixed. And we run into issues on transactions every day. We got a couple of deals right now that we've had some hurdles on it, but they were hurdles with the property or something happened. But if you don't have people that can navigate that, makes it very difficult. And from the outside, clients don't anticipate those issues. So that's what we're there.
All right. I want to jump into this. I got an article here, Bruce, talking about a 4.99% mortgage. That's kind of misleading.
It is, and it isn't.
This is talking about one of the big companies. You know the name. I'm not even going to mention it, but they say, we've got this new product. It's not a new product.
No,
It's just their money same place.
Yeah.
So that 4.99%, there's probably a catch, or there's 8 points, or it's a 15-year.
Yeah.
Some kind of buy down like that. Because with all the bombs dropping, Bruce, what happened to rates? We lost.
Well, it was 90 basis points last week and part of this week in the bond market. So whatever was at 0 points is at almost a full point today, but it's starting to recover. So the worst part was that oil had gone up to what, $135 a gallon. You saw your gas price, a barrel, not a gallon. That would be
That's California.
That's California. But then it came back down to under 90 overnight because Trump rallied all these other countries. Now, I talked him into doing that. I told my wife this a week ago. I said, he needs to get
down hanging out at Maryland.
I'm telling you, this is the truth. Now, I actually didn't talk to Trump, but I already had the idea. I said, where are our allies that also need this oil? They should have all of their navies out there escorting the takers. And guess what they're doing? They're sending them out there to escort the takers. So they finally did something that I said they should do. How do you like that? Pretty good, huh? I couldn't run the country.
No, it's at rates right now. So we were in depending on what kind of mortgage you got, you could be in the 5s.
We're still on VA and FHA can get in there, but I want to get back to the 4.99 because you can do that. I'm doing that with a client right now. You just have to have the seller contributing toward your closing costs. And all you're doing is a rate buy down.
Because I really think this headline, Bruce, is just an eyeball grabber, a clickbait to get people to go, oh, wow, that's something different. Let's go this way. And just marketing.
Here's what you do. Here's the trick to do it. You want a 4.99%, you can do it. There's a couple of ways. First of all, builders do it because they're doing it outside of closing. You have to remember that every type of loan has a limit to the amount of money that a seller can contribute, including the seller being a builder. Quickly, FHA 6%, VA 6%, conventional with less than 10% down, only 3%, more than 10% down, 6%, investors 2%. Now, what you do is, and it's easier to do on a government loan than it is on a conventional loan, but let's just say I can lock your FHA loan in right now at 5.99% and it costs you 1.5 points. Okay. Pretty close to what it was this week. 5.99, 1.5 points. Cleve goes out and negotiates 6 points from the seller on that closing. Now you got to pay full price for the property. You're not screwing around with the price because you're asking for on a $400,000 on a $300,000 house. You're asking for $17,000 some odd. So now I take that and I get the rate at 5.99 and I add a 1.1 buy down, which gives you a 4.99 for the first 2 years. Super easy. Now I could do a 2.1 buy down. I'll get you 3.99 for the first year, 4.99 for the second year, and 5.99 from then on. So there's all kinds of ways you can do that.
What's important about them going to WeBringYouHome.com or calling you.
Yes.
And saying, this is my situation. Let's get everything started. I just had one of my admin in my office, I told her, she knows she can't buy right now. She didn't have her down payment. But I said, get your application in. She sat down with your team and she got that in. And her main worry was her credit. You guys gave her a plan.
We gave one complete
She
plan.
got complete instructions on what to do. And it's also going to help her because she's got a horrible rate on a car payment. And I just about fainted when she told me the rate. And so we're going to get, once her credit's straight,
Get
we
that
can refinance,
refinance. Yeah.
do that. It just all trickles into what the right people.
Loveland, 407-352-8118 or cleveloveland.com, the voice of real estate here in Orlando. You are 100% right, because not only will I help you fix your credit to get a better interest rate on your mortgage, but once I fix your credit and your mortgage is closed and your score goes up, you will have the ability to get better homeowners insurance, better auto insurance at a cheaper rate.
You said homeowners insurance is credit based?
Absolutely.
Didn't know that.
Absolutely. That crappy credit, you're going to pay a higher rate for your insurance. You're going to pay a higher rate on your car loan. You're going to pay higher insurance on your car loan. Credit is everything. And it's funny, I was watching Judge Judy the other night when I get home. Okay, so I get home from work. I was worked late at night, got home, grab a straight tequila. I'm into this Mandala tequila now. Unbelievable. And I'm sitting there watching Judge Judy and my wife, because you're watching Judge Judy. And I watched this lady who was trying to sue her ex-boyfriend that wasn't even hardly a boyfriend. And she just blurts out, I couldn't get the loan on my own. I have bad credit. When you have bad credit, it is a personal reflection of you. If you don't understand that, it's like you telling somebody, I'm not trustworthy. I'm not trustworthy. You would never look at somebody and go, hey, my name's Bruce Woodburn. I'm not trustworthy.
So was she suing for? He wouldn't co-sign?
Yeah, no, the car broke down, so she parked it, never made another payment on it, and said, I need a newer one. And the guy's, I only dated you for 2 weeks and I let you use his car. Like, anyway, my point is, if you don't take your credit seriously, you are impacting many things in your life. And here's something even more important. And I drill this in on my classes. If you are a parent and you have children and you have crappy credit, shame on you. Shame on you. Fix it. I will help you fix it. But you have to be a role model to your children. Your children will follow in your footsteps. And if you have crappy credit, they're going to have crappy credit. Don't do it. Fix your credit. Make a conscious effort. If you do nothing else in life, be reputable, be honest. And having good credit means that I'm going to pay. If I borrow something, I'm going to be good at paying you back. When you blurt out, I have crappy credit, it's because you have not been responsible. Now, you can all call me and tell me we've had circumstances beyond our control. I had cancer and I couldn't make my pay. There is reasons for that, and we understand it, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't fix it. I'm here to help you. I'm not here to judge you. I had crappy credit once. I had a bankruptcy when I was 22 years old. I didn't pay my motorcycle payment. I lost a boat in repossession. I made the mistakes. So I'm not coming to you as this glorified person that's got all his act together. I have made the mistakes in the past, and I will help you fix it.
All right. Well,
let's give our phone number one more.
All right. 407-352-8118 for Cleve Loveland. We're going to dig into spring selling. We're going to dig into prepping the house. We're going to dig into what prep work you need to do as a buyer. What should you see when you are out there looking? And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about negotiations coming up, and I've got some listings coming up. I just think I've been busier, Bruce. The phones have been ringing. A lot more people out and about. I've got commercial deals running. So what's your phone number?
407-250-9144 or WeBringYouHome.com. We'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report and the Loner Ranger Show. Cleve's going to cover some really cool listings, and I'm going to talk about what rates have done and how you can take advantage of this market. Don't go anywhere.